Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Barnburner Podcast. I'm Owen, joined by my co-host Michael. It is December 30th today, right? Yeah, it's December 30th. We were kind of hoping we would have more to talk about, but the World Juniors just got canceled, which is terrible. That's going to be the main talking point, I think, for this episode. And the NHL is back at least. God, could you have imagined if the World Juniors were canceled and the NHL was still postponed?
Yeah.
I would have killed myself.
Yeah, yeah, imagine, I was so excited for this tournament, and, especially because, these guys are, our age,
Yeah.
and, now it's all done. I mean, apparently, I actually did hear that they're trying to reschedule it,
Yeah.
for the summer.
I heard this summer, yeah. I mean, like,
Imagine.
if they do reschedule it, they have to do it in the U.S., though. Because I firmly believe there's a few factors that I think led to this cancellation, and I think the Canadian government is a big part of that. So I feel like if they do it in the States or no one gives a flying fuck about COVID, I'm pretty sure that they'll be better suited there. So
Yeah,
do
I
we want to
agree.
just start with that and cover everything first and then go into other stuff, or do we want to save that for last? I don't really care.
I'm good with whatever. We can talk
Okay.
about
How about we talk about
Bedard.
players in the tournament that impressed and some that didn't impress
Okay, yeah.
through
Well,
the short play.
all right, so I think for me, the person or the player that stood out for me the most, besides Bedard, he's got all the eyes on him already because he's 16.
Yeah,
One guy that actually kind of caught my eye was, Perfetti.
yeah,
Like
same here.
his him on the power play and passing it around. His hockey IQ is just insane.
Seems good. Yeah. What?
On one of Power's goals, he moved his stick and he's like, "Yo, go here. We'll switch sides," and then he passed it right to
Yeah,
Power.
yeah,
And he
yeah,
one-timed
yeah.
it. I don't know. I thought
Was I
he's what?
was I not ripping Perfetti on
Yeah, you
on the
were.
fucking? I think it was it episode 1 or 2. I was talking about how. Were we talking about the
No,
captains? And
we were
I was.
talking about we were on Xbox, and you said,
Oh
what,
yeah,
what
yeah.
what a waste of an A." But
So, for a bit of backstory for everybody listening, everybody should, whoever listened to the first episode will know that I hate the Winnipeg Jets. They're one of my least favorite teams in the NHL, and Cole Perfetti is a Jets prospect, their best prospect, and so I was not happy that Perfetti got an A on Team Canada. I understand that he was on the team last year, so I guess there's a sense of leadership that they think he can bring, but I actually thought he was a pretty overrated prospect, and he finished with 6 points in 2 games, and I guess led the tournament in points because that would have been the highest. So I liked what I saw from him. I think the Jets do, and the other thing too is he's gonna come into the NHL and then play with who? Dubois and Ehlers. He's gonna get 65 points as a rookie, playing with those two guys if he plays at the same level he's playing at right now. So I guess I was a little too harsh on the kid.
yeah, is he
So yeah,
18 or is he 19?
he was drafted in 2020, I think. I
So
think
he'd
he was
probably
left
be
for year's
19.
year. So he's probably 19. Yeah. So I don't think he has another chance at the World Juniors,
And didn't Owen Power
unless they reschedule it.
and a big part of Owen Power staying with Michigan was because he wanted the chance to play
Yep.
for Canada, and that
Yep.
is gone.
Yeah, it's terrible. I want to talk. I don't know if you saw the Slovakia goalie ripping the double IHF on Instagram.
Was it the goal?
Did
I
you
thought it
see
was
that?
just I thought it was just a player, just like a.
I don't know. I think he's one of their goalies, but he wrote 2 long paragraphs on Instagram about how wrong it is that they canceled the tournament. And I say good on him personally. I think that's totally justified.
Yeah,
I saved the
Slovak
post.
Simon Latkovsky.
Don't even begin to try and announce his name.
No, I think he's one of their. Yeah, he might be a goalie. Yeah, but he said, "What a joke," basically.
Yeah, the other thing too I wanted to mention, a little off topic, we started utilizing our TikTok. It is on the thumbnail of the video, so we're going to be posting content practically daily on there. So if you guys want more content, you guys can go follow that. And we I briefly talked about the World Junior cancellation on there already, and I wanted to talk about everything about in that video in more depth here. But we'll get to that later on.
And also, I just want to point
Another
something
player.
out. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Right now we're on Zoom.
Yeah, this is the
filming
first
this
time we're doing
podcast.
it online. Yeah,
I don't know how this sounds, but we'll listen
figure
to
it
and
out.
we'll
It's
see.
all a learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause, I don't know. One of us. Well, who was sick? I don't think it's COVID. Your dad.
My dad actually, it was actually funny. He had like a runny nose and like he was sneezing a lot and stuff on, was it Monday? Whatever day
Canada
we played
played.
Slovakia or Czechia, sorry. When we played Czechia, I asked you to come over, and then he never ended up doing a rapid test because he feels fine now, but I'm gonna get him to do one because I have work tomorrow, so I don't want to go to work if my family has frickin' COVID. But
Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason why we aren't doing it in person. And who knows, maybe this will end up being better. And I think that doing it online like this gives us more flexibility. So maybe this is better in the future. We'll figure it all out. But we're using TikTok a lot more now. We're gonna be posting practically daily on there. I am gonna be the head of Oilers related videos, and Michael will be doing the Leafs related videos because I feel like that's the best options. And then anything else that like any team or other news will he'll sign in whenever he wants and make a video. He doesn't have to ask for approval. Same thing here on my end. So we'll just post whenever we really want. And so there's just more content for you guys.
We're doing pretty well. Like 700 views on
the
one
first
of the videos.
couple videos are going off. I think it's at 800 by now. The first one. I don't know about the World Junior one. That one's not performing as well. It's probably because it's 3 minutes. It's a long. I literally was like, it was like 2 minutes and 59 seconds. I was just going off on double IHF on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, and the other thing too, our first episode, I just checked, it's at like 70 views now. So I guess people are actually looking like going from the TikTok now. So it's interesting how
because our
TikTok,
last time I checked, it was like 60.
It was
or like 58 or something.
Yeah.
And then now it's at 70. So pretty good.
You know, TikTok might be a cringy ass app, but it is good for growth when you're trying to grow like a company or a podcast or something like that. It's actually pretty good for stuff like that. So who knows? Okay, back to what we were talking about. A player that impressed me a lot, and I ripped him on this podcast, I know it, is Owen Power. I said he was not going to be a first-round caliber, and he might not be first overall caliber, and he might not be, but I mean, he had 3 goals in the first game. He's the first defenseman in Canadian history to get a hat trick at the World Juniors, which is actually crazy. Like, there's been some pretty solid defensemen coming through the system of the World Juniors, and none of them got a hat trick, so that was pretty insane. He looked, and it's not even just the goal scoring, because obviously I can't really see him scoring a lot of goals at the NHL level, but he was just making like the smart, easy play, which I feel like sometimes a lot of these young kids don't do. They try to make everything like super flashy, so it was kind of nice to see him playing like old school, and he was chewing fucking gum.
Yeah,
he didn't even have a mouth guard in. Which is crazy. Like all these young guys always have mouth guards now. I'm shocked he didn't have a mouth guard in.
He didn't choke on anything. I asked my dad.
Anyways,
like, why is he chewing gum? Like, isn't that?
Yeah. When my dad saw that, he was like, "Wow, this kid's old school, chewing gum while he's playing with a visor." But yeah, he really impressed me. I think he finished with 5 points as well, 3 goals and 2 assists. So he was off to a good start.
And I mean, we can talk about Bedard.
Yeah, we have a bit of a segment just specifically about Bedard later on, but obviously the kid is crazy.
I mean, I know he got 4 goals against Austria
and an assist.
But
see, that's the thing.
good.
No one else
like,
was getting 4
good.
goals against Austria.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
And he also got an assist against Czechia on like the one shift. He was getting like 2-3 shifts a period, and he actually got an assist in the first period against Czechia. So he's insane, man. He was the youngest player in the tournament. I think I saw he was like the first 16-year-old since Gretzky to get a hat trick at the World Juniors, if I'm not mistaken. So that's obviously pretty insane.
Also, I mean, I feel like Austria, most of them are around his age because they're all wearing cages.
Yeah, because they don't. Yeah, and not just that, they don't like. That's the other thing too. Like Austria, there's like no teams in Austria. Like they're hurting to find the ability to put together a freaking Like, they should just allow Austria to have, like, 21-year-old kids on the team. Like, sure, that might be over the age limit, but they'd probably make it somewhat fair. Probably still no.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Obviously,
saw,
Mason McTavish is unreal, too.
I saw a meme. It was like a bunch of people dancing, and it's like Canadians when they beat a team with
I think I saw
30
that.
rinks
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
We
I
probably
saw
have
that
30
video.
rinks in just the
In
Toronto
Oakville.
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
God. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you always Canada always does good. One thing that was hilarious last year. We had never trailed in a game until the finals, and this year we were trailing pretty much right from the start. Like, we went up 1-0 on the Czech, and then from that point on, it was a 3-1 deficit we had to get back. So obviously, this Canada team was not as strong as last year's, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I went upstairs like
I wasn't
getting ready to
worried.
go to your house or whatever. Like,
yeah,
or whatever, and I just kept hearing goal horns after goal horn because Czech got. So after it
Yeah.
was 2-1, I went upstairs. Czech scored, and then
So you
Canada
missed that
scored
goal
right
that
after.
Savozil
Yeah,
kid
I
scored?
missed that one.
That goal was filthy, man.
Yeah, I missed it.
He
But
just-
I just kept
I
hearing
forget who
goals,
it was. I
goal
think it-
horns.
Yeah, I know. I think it
I
was
forget
either
who it is.
Cormier or Ronan Seeley got his jock dropped by Stanislav Savozil on Czechia, Columbus prospect. Speaking of Columbus prospects, a player that didn't do as well as I was hoping, Kent Johnson.
Yeah, I mean,
Craig Button was hyping him up to be the Trevor Zegras of this tournament. The guy had 1 point on 17 Canadian goals. So I don't know if we're talking Zegras caliber, but the kid. I mean, I think I'm not. I don't know if he's an 03 or an 02 because obviously this past draft year was a mix of the two. Because like Beniers and Power are 02s, and then McTavish is an 03 and stuff like that, and so is like guys like Cole Sillinger. Trevor Zegras had 2 World Junior appearances, if I'm not mistaken. He was in, obviously last year he won the MVP, and then the year before he got 9 assists, and I think the U.S. scored 10 goals in the entire tournament. Like, they were so bad that year. So Zegras literally had a point on every single U.S. goal practically. So if Ken Johnson comes back to the World Juniors next year, maybe then he'll have a dominant year if he's even able to. Again, I'm not sure how old he is because it's obviously a U20 tournament, so you can't be 20 years old. But
yeah, and also if he
can you?
doesn't, no, I don't think so.
yeah, okay.
U20s usually just.
Columbus will
under 20.
probably keep him in the NHL too if he's ready, or at least the AHL or something.
Where does he play?
but,
OHL? What is it? Oh, he's on
No,
college.
he's on Michigan. He's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Michigan
yeah.
with Owen Power, and it was funny. I was out when they had the exhibition game against Russia. Me and my family went out to a pub to watch the game and eat dinner or whatever, and they were on the power play, and him and Owen Power were just passing it back to each other on the power play. Like, they just kept going back and forth, and I said to my dad, I was like, wow, you can't tell those guys play on the same team. They were only passing to each other. I was like, God, you got McTavish wide open on the left side of the zone. Give him a puck.
Yeah.
He might slap it home. And then
That
Ken
guy's
Johnson
shot-
scored.
That guy's shot is insane, McTavish.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm going to be referencing that Oilers meme account a lot on this podcast because I send you all of his videos. He actually is convinced that based on draft location, McTavish is going to be a bust. Like, he doesn't think McTavish will live up to 3rd overall potential. Like, he thinks he'll be good, but he just isn't going to be worth a 3rd overall pick. I mean,
What
McTavish
about,
played
like
9 games, and he was
Yeah.
actually pretty good. But I don't know.
I mean, like, I feel like he'll be really good.
Yeah.
Like Line, do you think he's 2nd overall caliber?
But that's a thing, though. Honestly, I was thinking about this last night. That's actually not even a good, like, that draft year really was not that good. Like, Matthews is obviously incredible, but he wasn't even, like, he realistically would have been drafted in McDavid's year if he was born a day earlier.
Yeah.
So, think about if Matthews isn't in that draft class. That's, like, one of the shittiest drafts because, like, the second best player off the top of my head is Dubois, right? Like,
I'm
can't
gonna
remember-
look it up right now.
yeah, look at that draft class because there's probably some depth guys that we're forgetting, like guys that were picked
2016.
later.
NHL draft.
Because, like, I know Puljujarvi, we picked Puljujarvi at 4, I think.
So Line, Dubois,
Tkachuk.
Puljujarvi, Matthew Tkachuk, Keller,
Clayton Keller's pretty good.
Sergachev.
Sergachev is good. But see, look,
McAvoy.
McAvoy, Chikrin.
Logan Stanley, 18th. Holy
Yeah, I
shit!
know that's crazy. Yeah, but that's a really weak draft here. Anaheim, a couple guys there, Sam Steele and Max Jones, but like majority, Tage Thompson's actually pretty good.
The
Tage
Leafs
Thompson got drafted by
picked up.
St. Louis.
I don't know. I guess the Leafs picked Igor Korshkov. They could have had Alex DeBrincat. Fuck.
Yeah, DeBrincat went. Carter Hart got drafted at 48. Arthur. Oh, I thought I was gonna say Arthur Kaliev, but that wouldn't make any sense. Philip Hronik's not bad too. Yeah, that's a pretty weak. Adam Fox
Yeah.
went at 66.
Oh, never mind. Wow. Calgary. We already talked about how he.
Yeah, how he
Josh Anderson.
would. How yeah, is that the same Josh Anderson? That yeah, it's got to be drafted by
Colorado.
I didn't know that.
Neither did
Yeah,
I.
because he played for Columbus. No, it's not the same. It's not the same Josh Anderson.
Oh fuck.
I just clicked on his profile.
Definitely not. Adam Brooks for the Leafs. Yeah, a bunch of nobodies really. Victor
Yeah, that's not a very
Mete. Victor
small-
Mete.
Yeah,
He
but
went 100th.
Yeah, but he's not even that good,
No.
to be honest. He's all right. Yeah, pretty weak draft class overall though, but I mean, Laine just is injury prone. Like I don't think Laine's a bad hockey player personally. I actually kind of like Laine, but you just have to have a good playmaker playing with him, you know what I mean? Like he can't really support himself by himself, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
Because I mean, I don't want to like say that he only scored. Like I mean, Matthews used to just do that really, but now his
Matthews
game
has really
is
evolved.
yeah. But Laine just gets one timers like Ovechkin. But Ovechkin's been having an amazing year.
Yeah, unreal. We talked about that in the first
And
episode.
he's like 35.
And he's pretty much continued to keep it up. McDavid and Draisaitl both hit 50 points last night despite us losing.
Who'd you guys lose to? Who was it?
St. Louis,
Oh.
which I
honestly,
St. Louis is good.
yeah, I didn't even know the Oilers played last night.
Yeah, it was, dude. So remember how I was telling you about that Russian defenseman who's in the OHL or the AHL? He's the Dmitry Samorukov. He's that Russian kid. He was playing in the AHL on the Bakersfield Condors, and he got his NHL debut last night. And he was playing with Bouchard, and they were on the ice together for the first two goals that St. Louis scored. So the first goal, Bouchard tried to pass the puck to Nuge, and it got intercepted by, I think it was Robert Thomas or Jordan Kyrou or something. And Samarukov's caught on a 3-on-1, and they score. And then they give him another shift, and then he gets... The second goal was his fault. He got out, like he just got completely burnt by Kyrou. I know for a fact it was Kyrou on the second one. And then they score again, and he did not get another shift for the rest of the game. That was 5 minutes into the first period, and he was benched the rest of the game. Like, how are we teaching young players how to play hockey if you're going to bench him for fucking 55 minutes of the game? And he's going to get two shifts. I don't get, but then Barry does the same thing 5 minutes later, and he gets to play the rest of the fucking game. He's the worst defenseman in Canada, and he's playing every shift that he wants. I don't understand, man. I don't get it. And that's why I'm excited to start doing those videos on TikTok about the Oilers, because
You just want
God
to
help
let
me,
it all
I can't
out.
take it anymore. Yeah, like
Let
Dave
out your-
Tippett needs to go, man. He has no ability to coach young stars. Like, he doesn't know how to develop them properly. It's bad, man. And Duncan Keith getting top minutes. Like, oh fuck. I'll never understand, man. Anyways, we got a little off topic again. What about Brad Lambert on Finland? 5 points in 2 games. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably a
always
top
see him-
5 pick this year.
I usually in NHL 22, he's always drafted. I
there.
think third
Yeah.
or something.
I don't know though. I mean,
Shane Wright.
and I want to. Yeah, the mystery man, Shane Wright. We're gonna talk about him a little bit more later. I don't want to be too harsh on the kid because he's a Burlington homeboy, but which is like 10 minutes away from us. I don't want him to ever stumble across this and be like, wow, these guys hate my guts. But Shane, buddy, you're a little overrated. I'm not gonna lie. One of our topics of discussion on the list here is he first overall caliber? And I have my say. I'm gonna let you go first and tell me what you think. But God. Anyways, I'll let you take this away for a sec here.
Let me 1 sec.
Are you opening up?
I'm
his
just looking. I'm
stats?
just looking up at the prospects of this draft.
I saw a draft projection on NHL Prospect Discussion on Instagram, which I'm going to assume is fairly accurate if I had to guess.
So this list that I pulled up has Shane Wright going first, Matthew Savoie,
Second, yeah.
Logan Cooley, Joaquin Kamel. Oh, he's on Finland. Yeah, that guy's supposed to be good too.
Yeah, too.
Simon Nemec. I remember he's on Slovakia.
So they don't have Brad Lambert in the top 5.
They have him 7th. They have him 7th to New Jersey.
Wow, that'd be actually lethal if New Jersey got him.
Yeah. Also, going 29th to the Leafs, Jack Hughes.
Yes, the U.S. program has a Jack Hughes so it's actually funny. He's in the exact same program as Jack Hughes was in his junior years, and I don't think he's supposed to be as good as the real Jack Hughes was. But yeah, I found that funny because I sometimes see the U.S. development program posts on my Explore page on Instagram, and I saw them tag Jack Hughes, and I'm like, the hell? And I click on it, and I figured he's a completely different guy. I'm like, wow.
But yeah. Oh yeah,
Jared
on check.
Yeah, he got hurt though, right? Against Canada. He knee on kneed. I think it was Jake Neighbors.
No, it was
Was it Gooley?
Might have been or Cooley or something, or somebody. But it wasn't one of their. I didn't really know who he was in Canada, to be honest.
It's funny, he threw the hit and got hurt because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Matthew Savoie's got 51 points in 33 games in WHL right now. And he didn't get put on Team Canada, which is kind of crazy to me. Who is Elliot Desnoyers? He's a Flyers prospect, but seriously, you're gonna put him on the team over Savoie? Unless it's is it possible? I don't know if it's possible for junior teams. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say Matthew Savoie sounds French, and of course he's going to the Habs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if he's available, come the Habs pick that, they're definitely taking him. Undeniable.
They picked Mayu, the guy that.
By the way, that kid's coming back to the OHL. Did you see that? So he posted a sexually explicit photo on his social media while they were in Sweden, I think, and he was indefinitely. Yeah, I think so. And he was indefinitely suspended from the OHL. And now they announced that on January 1st, which is on Saturday, he's returning to the London Knights. So it's a 26-game suspension once they, obviously with all the games that they've played already. But the OHL just got, I think the OHL just got canceled.
Probably. They're not allowed to stand up
mistaken.
in Owen Sound.
Yeah, in Owen Sound, yeah, God.
Apparently the fans aren't allowed to stand up and cheer. What the hell is that? Yeah, that's terrible.
Anyways, back to, so what are your thoughts on Shane Wright? Do you think that let's say Arizona gets the first pick, do you think Arizona should take him?
I think they probably will. Because you can't, I feel like he's been talked about for so many years.
So much, yeah, exactly.
And you can't just pass up on him. But I don't know, Brad Lambert definitely does not sound Finnish at all, but he's from Finland.
I'm pretty sure his dad is Canadian or something, and he was born in Finland.
Yeah.
Brad Lambert.
I don't know. I think you gotta go with Shane Wright, and then honestly, Lambert should be second or third, to be honest, instead of seventh.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. He's definitely a top 5 pick after the short, and it's even better and that's the other thing too is, if they are able to reschedule this tournament, it'll help a lot of these smaller European countries. There's probably some kid on Austria who's actually pretty good, and he just never got a chance to prove himself because the one game he played, they just got blown out by Canada. And think about it though, I think it was it Bob McKenzie or Ray Ferraro who said it. This is like the only time these players will ever have a chance to play like super meaningful hockey. Like obviously not guys like Bedard and stuff, but some of these smaller European countries like Austria or Slovakia or whatever, like these guys don't get another chance to, because they might not get drafted to the NHL, so they're never going to get a chance to compete for a cup, and now it's all gone just in the blink of an eye.
It was Ray Ferraro, and like I saw a list of like the best like German players on the team, and all of them like it showed all the teams. Like Bedard undrafted, he's eligible in 2023, but all the German guys they were like 19 undrafted, so like they were all
Isn't Florian
they're not gonna
Elias
get a
one of
chance.
them?
I don't probably. I forget
I think
their names.
That Florian Elias kid, I think he was on the German team last year. I think he played with Stützle and Peterka, and he was actually pretty good, and then he never got drafted. I don't know how he never got drafted, but I feel like some team will pick him. Like he was the best player on Germany this year. I don't even know if he got a point in Germany's 2 games, but you know who did get 2 points? Oilers defenseman Luka Munzenberger. A goal and an assist on like 3 German goals. So I hate to break it to you, but he's already better than Keith. So I don't know why Keith is still in the lineup, but
Munzenberger, that guy is definitely German.
Yes.
Munzenberger. Wow. Anyways. But yeah.
So now I guess I'll take the stage for Shane Wright.
Yeah, let's hear it.
God. I'm not a fan of his. I did not notice him at all. The guy got 1 assist in the Austria game. And I know I was ripping Kent Johnson too, but like Shane Wright gets 1 assist on 17 Canada goals. And
he only got 1 point?
And it was on, I think, one of Bedard's goals, the second one or something. 1 point, and you were the projected first overall pick in the upcoming draft, and you can't muster more than 1 point in a World Junior Tournament against Austria. When your next up first overall pick, Connor Bedard, is getting 4 goals against the team, you can't get more than 1 point. I don't know. Like, I've heard that Shane Wright focuses a lot on his defensive game, which is good. But
it's clear.
When you're a team like Arizona, who can't score goals, you need to draft a guy who can score goals. You don't want to draft Shane Wright, who's like, well, I might not have scored tonight, but at least I played 65 minutes of hockey in the defensive zone. I don't know, like, obviously people praise Crosby for being such a good two-way forward, but at least Crosby gets like 80 points consistently, and then, well, in his later years, and obviously in his early years, he was getting 100.
Yeah, I don't know about this year, but
yeah, but Shane Wright is, I don't know, like, you're right, he'll probably still go first because it's the safe pick, but like I would take Savoie or Lambert if I really wanted an offensive player. Because you can always teach these kids how to play proper two-way games. Like, that's the whole point of a coach, is to teach them, okay, you need to start focusing more on your defensive game because we can't have you out there on the first line. McDavid was so bad at defense in his first couple seasons. He's not good. He's not, like, amazing now, but he's definitely better than he used to be. But, I don't, like, Matthew Savoie could be the worst defensive forward in the draft, and Montreal will obviously still take him at 2 because he's French. But, like, they can teach him how to play defense. I don't know. I just feel like Shane Wright had to do more to impress me, especially in, like, the most important tournament that he could be in. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much ice time he was getting every night. Not at all. Another player who never impresses in the World Juniors, Askarov on Russia, the goalie.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention
Jesus
him.
Christ, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Was he picked
go, like,
12th overall? Yeah, I think he was the pick before Dylan Holloway to Nashville. All I'm gonna say is Nashville is glad that UC Saros is locked up because God help me, Askarov is never gonna be their starter. He's atrocious.
I remember was it last year or 2 years ago? It wasn't. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. It was his 3rd World Juniors.
I believe so. Yes, I believe he's been in the World Juniors the last 3 years. So I guess he's been in here since he was pretty young.
Yeah. So the first year, like everyone was talking about him, like this guy's the next Pekka Rinne or something, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the last year, he was terrible. And then he got drafted or whatever.
He was terrible last year.
Yeah. And then he gets pulled against Canada. Then he got pulled against Sweden.
Yep, and then he didn't even start against, what was their next game against? Was it Did they play Switzerland next? Russia? I think they did.
Yes,
But
or
I don't know who it was, but he didn't get the start. Whoever it was, whatever team it was. But yeah, I don't know. He's terrible. He's got to be the most overrated pick in recent memory. Like, he's not good at all. Like, he got drafted again. Watch him turn into like some stud goalie. Yeah,
he probably will.
Sometimes that happens.
Right now,
sometimes that happens. To be honest,
it's usually goalies getting drafted really late. They end up.
Yeah, usually goalies don't go in the first round unless they're like really good. And like Spencer Knight was another one recently. He obviously has had a bit of a rough rookie season, but he was pretty good last year in the small sample size he had.
But
I was telling my dad, I was like, maybe Askarov catches with the wrong hand. Maybe he should start because I think isn't he a right-handed catcher?
He catches with his right, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he should switch to the other hand and catch. Maybe that'll help him improve because I don't know. He seems always disoriented on the ice. Like he seems like he moves so much more than he has to save things, and that's never that's like Mike Smith.
Is he big? Is Askarov like a big guy?
I don't know, but you know who is big? Kosa. He's like 6'6".
Really?
He's massive. He never got to play. He literally never got to play a tournament game because they started Grand in game 1 and then Broshu in game 2, and then Kosa never got a chance. Also, fuck, man. Would it not be nice if Jesper Wallstedt was an Edmonton Oiler prospect? He is unbelievably good, man. Like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. He could have single-handedly won Sweden the champion. Like, they have good players. They got Alex Holtz and Eklund and Edvinsson, but, like, he's unreal. And we drafted Xavier Bourgault, who's leading, like, the Quebec lead in goals or something like that, but still, we need a goalie. Like, fuck, man. I was pissed. Man, you were at my house for that draft.
Yeah, you're livid. Jesper Wallstedt, welcome to the Edmonton Oilers. You trade the pick to Minnesota or whatever.
Minnesota. God, help me.
And Minnesota already has Talbot and Kakkonen.
And Talbot's playing so good, too.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Who else? Oh, yeah, that Hellenius. Is that how you say his name? Hellenius?
Hellenius. On Finland?
I think he's an LA King. Yeah, on Finland. I think he's a Kings prospect. He had a pretty good tournament, too. I think he had 4 points or something.
He's a big guy, too.
Yeah, he is. He's huge. Him and Brad Lambert were tearing it up. But I really do hope they reschedule this because it would be such a shame for like a kid like Owen Power. We were talking about him earlier. He's 19, avoided going to the NHL so he could play in this tournament, and now he got to play 2 games in an exhibition game, and now it's canceled. Yeah, I mean they could do it in the summer, but then the issue is, yeah.
Because the playoffs, the playoffs will be early. Like they'd probably end in like June.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the playoffs are actually taking place a little later this year. Yeah, because I think didn't the NHL season start a little later? Oh yeah, that might be why. It might be because of the Olympics. Now that there's that 2 weeks we have now, they might get pushed up a bit. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean it did start later, I think, but. The Olympics.
The season definitely started later than it usually does, for sure.
But the Olympics, because it's 2 weeks off or whatever, so they got pushed back. But now
I think they're using the 2 weeks for the postponements that we all all the last 10 days or whatever or it's been more than 10. It was 10 days for the Oilers, but 10 days or it's been like 2 weeks for every other team. So why are the Leafs the Leafs are postponed till when?
There's I think they postponed their January 3rd game. Like, they haven't... I don't even know the next time they're going to play. They're probably...
The January 5th game, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's them versus the Oilers. I was supposed to go to that game.
Yep.
Yeah, and now it's postponed, so nice. I don't know.
So I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to see Canadian hockey anytime soon, but that I actually care about, the Leafs.
It's a disaster, man. I don't know, I understand that the virus is obviously spreading like crazy, but it's really not that lethal. Like this particular variant is not that lethal. Like a couple people I know had it, and all they had was like the sniffles, according to we all know. But yeah, I don't know. Like obviously you have to be careful. I don't know if you heard, but apparently 5 refs got COVID too at the World Juniors, and if you run out of refs, you can't play games, obviously. So that makes a little more sense. But I guess we can get into that now. I 110% think this has to do with money. I'm so confident that the IIHF canceled this because they were losing money. Because you think about that women's tournament that got canceled a couple weeks ago. Not that anybody would have really watched it because no one knows where to find that tournament. Like I'm not like trying to downplay women's sports or anything like that, but like I'm not going to lie to you, I really did not even know that there was a U18 girls tournament. It's never on TV.
No, yeah, I didn't know what it existed either, but I knew, Marie Philippe Poulin.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they had that tournament. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
But
But
something else.
I don't know because this is a U18, so this is like younger girls, like they were
Yeah,
like because the World Juniors is U20, so it's even a younger age group for the female tournament. But you like that is 100% money. That one, I have no doubt that they are like, okay, we barely make money off this tournament when it runs. If we run it and we're not getting any profit, we're just losing money. And then because of the Canada restrictions for this tournament, which was held in Edmonton and Red Deer, Alberta, they had 50% capacity limits, which weren't even getting hit. So like let's say that 50% was 10,000, right? Like let's just make up a number. They were probably selling around like 3,500 of the tickets that they could actually sell. And then you're losing 50% of 50%, which is brutal.
Yeah.
So, like, I firmly believe that. I mean, I know that you don't want COVID to spread, but like, these kids miss Christmas with their families, to be here, and then they can't even.
They followed all the rules, they followed all the restrictions, followed everything, and now like they still can't even play. So it's like.
Yep.
Like fuck.
I saw a tweet on Twitter, and that goalie, the Slovakian goalie, talked about it too. The hotel they were staying at was public. Like, what the fuck is the IIHF doing?
What did they do last year in Alberta?
It was a bubble.
Place? Why did they do that?
It was
again?
a bubble. I don't know. I feel like it's because
I thought the reason why they did it again in Edmonton or whatever was because they had the bubble already.
Was because they could do the same bubble. Yeah, that's
But
probably honestly what they kind of thought. They thought, well, we did this in Edmonton last year. It worked well. We had no cases. Let's just do it again. Yeah, but you have to do a bubble again. You can't have the hotel open to the fucking pub. I saw a TikTok of a girl in the restaurant at the hotel. She was like, "Oh my god, I'm in the World Junior Hotel," and all the comments were like, "You are the reason this is canceled." Like that's like literally, I was like, Jesus, like this is open to the public, and no wonder everybody's getting COVID. I guarantee you, none of I think it was 4 cases, 2 on the U.S. team, 1 on Russia, and the other one on.
I know Russia and Czech forfeited their games too.
Yeah, and then the U.S. So it was I think it was 1 case on Russia, 1 on Czech, 2 on the U.S. 4 total cases amongst over 200 kids, and I guarantee you none of that was because of anything the kids actually did. They probably just went to go eat breakfast and they caught COVID because there was random people in the lobby. Like that's a disaster, man. You can't have that happening.
Yeah.
Like that's so stupid. I don't know.
I feel like
and that's it.
That's like
You go.
Like what do you do? You're like a professional organization. Like you don't think of these things. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, clearly not. They don't think very well. But I said this on the TikTok I posted. I understand that COVID has obviously been a serious thing for the last 2 years or a year and a half or however long it's been, but we're looking at kids 16 to 20 in the age range who are at pretty much peak physical level because they're athletes. They're all double vaccinated at least because you have to be. And we're canceling the tournament because of a couple cases. Like, and again, I'm not trying to sound ignorant. I understand that COVID has affected a lot of people. I don't want to sound offensive if it's affected anybody who's listening, like your lives personally. But this particular variant, this Omicron variant, is the least lethal variant of all of them. I'm not talking about regular COVID. I understand regular COVID is a lot more severe, but I'm going to assume it was the Omicron variant that they all got. And I know that like there has been athletes in the past who have suffered, like Marco Rossi. Do you remember that? The
Yeah.
Minnesota prospect. He said he was on like death's row with it, but that was before vaccinations.
Yeah.
So like I understand it's severe, but like how much longer are we gonna let this disease control our governments and our lives? Like I'm not trying to get political, but it's kind of hard not to talk about COVID when it's destroying the exact thing we're talking about, which is hockey. Like I don't know. I think it was Ray Ferraro too, or no, maybe it was Bob McKenzie this time who said that we were able to run this tournament last year when there was no. No, this is Ray Ferraro. There was no like vaccine last time we did the tournament. We knew so much less about COVID than we do this year, and they decided to not cancel it last year, and then this year when we know so much more about the virus and there is vaccines, then we cancel it. Like I know, like they had to do a bubble. The bubble was the only way they could have done this without risk of exposure, I guess. But they didn't think that through clearly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's questionable, but I mean, I feel like it would be. It's kind of the right call, but at the same time, like these kids are all young, like they're all athletes, like you said, like they're not. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know how you're gonna react once you get it, but because like it's still kind of new. It's a new variant. It's a new whatever. But
True.
I don't know.
I've heard
today, so like
yeah,
we'll see
I got
how
mine a couple
react.
days ago. But I heard that because this variant came from Africa, right? I believe that's where it came from.
I think I heard something. Yeah, I don't know.
I heard that there are no more cases of this variant in Africa already.
Really?
Yeah, like that's how fast it came and went.
Yeah.
Like Jesus, man. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I was so hyped. Like we were so hyped to watch the Germany game last night because we were originally going to do this episode last night after the Germany game, and then it got canceled. And we were on Xbox in the morning, and I literally said to you after the forfeited games from Russia and Czechia, I said to you, I was like, God, if they cancel this tournament, I'm going to be pissed. Literally right when we got off Xbox, I saw the post about the cancellation. And I was like, there is no way.
They're thinking of canceling it and stuff.
And then like 20 minutes later, it was official. But like, God, man, it's terrible. Yeah. But let's hope they reschedule it. That'd be great. If they don't, obviously there's nothing we can do about it. At least the NHL season is back. Nothing too eventful has happened since, though. It's only been 2 days of hockey.
One thing that happened to me though, for our fantasy, so I guess Kuznetsov was on IR because he had COVID or whatever. Comes back, I didn't know he was playing.
And you didn't put him in the lineup.
Gets a shorthanded goal, which is worth a lot of points.
God.
So fuck me, but yeah.
Didn't they lower the quarantine time or the isolation time to 5 days or something in the NHL?
Yeah,
which is good because. There's possibility that these guys are like they could be false positive. Like there's no guarantee that these guys on COVID protocol are actually actually have the virus. I think sometimes like let's say Nugent Hopkins gets COVID and he hung out with Darnell Nurse the day he tested positive. They just take Darnell Nurse into protocol too because they were together. But Darnell Nurse doesn't necessarily have COVID as well. So I'm pretty sure to get out of the isolation after the 5 days, you do still need like the negative test, but it used to be 10 days minimum and then the negative test. So I guess they're getting a little more lenient, which I think we need. We touched up on what the NFL was doing last week. I still think they need to do that in the NFL and the NHL and the NBA.
Yeah, here.
But yeah.
1 sec. Owen, keep the audience busy. I just gotta use the bathroom.
Okay, all right.
So
I will talk about.
I'll join you.
Yeah. Oh, when you get back, we'll do Bedard and Michkov.
Okay, just talk about whatever the hell you want. Okay,
yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, so it's my first time having to carry this discussion alone. So like I don't know. I just obviously we have to hope and pray for a rescheduling. I think it'd be really, really, really good for all of these young kids who missed out, and a lot of the kids in this tournament will not get another chance to play in the tournament. Like guys like Bedard and Michkov and those younger players, they can still play in the World Juniors one or two more times before they're too old. So they aren't necessarily missing out on anything. Like I'm sure they're still upset, but they're not as upset as some of the 19-year-olds who will never get another chance to play. So I don't know. Like that's what really makes me upset about the whole scenario is feeling bad for the kids who came from overseas, like who came from Finland, who came from Sweden, who came from Russia, etc., missed Christmas with their families to come to this tournament, and then now it ends early. Like I don't know. To me, that's pretty. I'm in shock that they would actually do that. But
hey guys, I'm back.
And he's returned. He's
back.
That
might have been the longest piss of my life.
I was just talking about how all these European kids had to come from overseas and miss Christmas with their family for nothing. Like, literally for nothing. But now let's get into Bedard versus Michkov. That was another topic we had written down. So
I think you were saying that Michkov might be better than him.
Yeah, but I like hot takes. I don't know if I actually mean it. Like, I like to say something. Like, we need hot takes on this podcast for people to actually, like, tune in. Like, I might make a video after this on TikTok talking about it because then people will really get mad. All the Canadian kids on TikTok can be like, are you serious?
One of our friends in particular has some hot takes. I think you know who it is.
Yeah. But we'll get him on one day for sure. Yeah, we have to. That'd be the best episode so far.
We'll ask him questions.
Yeah, we'll ask him questions about players and tell him
you'll have your
opinion.
Yeah, you'll have our answers or whatever, and we'll have like a huge argument or whatever.
Yeah. That'll be a good episode. But I
feel like he might get so heated. He's just gonna leave. He'll get so mad he'll just fucking walk out.
We might be having our first guest on the podcast next week actually. A buddy of mine named Joe. He originally was gonna come. He plays Junior A hockey, so he has actually played against some of these guys that were in the tournament. Like he's played against McTavish, he's played against Luke Hughes. So he's played it. You know, he doesn't know these guys personally, but he knows what they play like in a firsthand experience. So we're gonna have him on. We were originally gonna have him on after the World Junior Tournament was done because we wanted him to like touch up on like who he thought performed well or didn't perform well. But obviously now that the tournament's canceled, we can have him on forever. Or whenever. So he'll probably pop up.
Have him on forever.
Yeah, every episode. We'll definitely have him on probably next week, and he's a pretty funny guy, I'll say to say the least. He's a little bit of an idiot sometimes, but I think you guys will enjoy having him on, and I think we're gonna start doing guests just in general soon.
He'll probably
I'm
be
sorry,
our most
I'm texting
exciting...
while I'm talking.
Yeah.
God.
He'll probably be our most exciting guest.
The more excited, yeah.
Because he has some hockey experience, and the rest will have some more friends, but they're not nearly as good as he is.
Well, there's a guy in particular that I'm hoping maybe in the future we can get on, Josh Bloom. Josh Bloom, for those of you who don't know, he was a third-round pick by the Buffalo Sabres this year in the most recent draft. He is from Oakville. He is friends with our friends. I don't know have you ever met him before? I've never met him. But he's friends with a lot of our close friends.
I had a buddy in AAA, and he was on their team, and like
yeah,
he was just scoring.
But maybe one day he'll come on down and talk to us about because he played in the like the training camp and rookie camp with the Sabres in the summer, so I'm sure he's got some pretty nice stories to tell, and he's pretty good too. He's in the OHL right now.
How are we gonna get him on? What's the plan? Does Joe know?
I don't know. I'll probably Joe knows him. We'll figure something out. I don't think he'll come on right now because we haven't even hit 100 views on a video. But in the future,
no promises yet. But maybe.
Yeah, we're not promising anything.
Or once he makes the show, maybe.
Let's get Shane Wright on. tell Mitchell to ask his mom if her son will be willing to
Jesus.
come on and do a podcast, and
Yeah.
he can come on and talk to. I'm sure I can talk to somebody at
Imagine.
that school who knows her, and say, hey, can you get your son on the podcast? My friend wants to have a discussion about how shit he is. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
no.
kidding, man. God, I don't mean it. He's still a top 3 pick, regardless of anything that happens. I just don't know if he's the first overall pick.
Didn't you say like Joe knows like Spezza too?
Yeah, he does his sprinklers and Marner.
Wow.
Apparently.
Imagine we get them on.
Spezza's a class act, man. I'm gonna ask him, Spezza,
How does it
was
feel
your knee
mean
hurting
when-
after you
Yeah.
fucking killed Pionk?
Yeah.
God, that was so good, man. That was I he can't talk about that though.
No.
He can't come on here and talk because it's probably something against the league. Like, you can't come on and talk about your suspension. Like, that's kind
Like
of
he did it
brutal.
on
But,
like he did it on purpose or whatever.
yeah, exactly. He definitely did it on purpose. He could say whatever he wants. We all know that was on purpose, man.
Yeah.
By the way, my
No, no,
dad was saying something yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like imagine like we just started the podcast. Just a
Yeah,
bunch of, like,
we
what is
our
18?
aspirations are. I think we're a little
And
high.
we
We
just
got
get Marner on the podcast.
Mitch Marner on the podcast. Marner, do you get sleepless nights in the playoffs or what, buddy? Guy can't sleep.
It's not ripping.
My dad was talking to me yesterday. He was like, the Oilers and the Leafs definitely lie about COVID tests. How is it possible that McDavid and Draisaitl haven't tested for COVID? Matthews hasn't been put on, and everybody that Matthews hangs out with on the Leafs is in COVID protocol. Jack Campbell, all of them. How is it possible that those guys never get put on COVID, and they're the team's star players? They're lying about the test. I'm telling you, man.
Oh my.
They definitely test positive, and they just say, look.
We should have your dad
Tell
on
him-
this.
Yeah, we will for sure. He'll be good. Me and my dad tend to agree on a lot of things, but like he was happy when Ethan Bear got traded and we got Duncan Keith as a replacement. Like, sure, I mean, I thought Bear had some rough moments, but like, God, he is better than Duncan Keith.
It's
He's doing pretty
Keith.
good in Carolina. Like, God help me, man. I don't get.
Don't even get me started.
Talking about the Oilers just ruins my mood. Like, it just really ruins my mood.
Despite that
like
great start.
yeah. Hopefully the Leafs can win a cup while we do in the time. I mean, the idea is to do this podcast for a long time, but if the Leafs win the cup, at least that gives us something good to talk about. We won't rely on the Oilers for a cup win anytime soon. We are so far from a cup win, it's not even funny. Like, we need to make some severe changes to this team, including coach firing, GM firing, Keith traded, Turris traded. I could go on forever about all the things we need to change. But anyways, Bedard versus
my
Mitchkov.
Wi-Fi is horrible.
Why would
I
happen?
can't even hear you.
Is it-
Hold on, my Wi-Fi is just horrible. You said. Hold on.
What was the last thing you heard?
I heard you.
This is
You
the
were talking
technical
about the Leafs
difficulties of a
winning the
Zoom
cup.
call. Yeah, I was saying. Can you hear me now? Guess no.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just moving
okay.
downstairs.
I was saying, like, hopefully the Leafs win the cup soon, so it gives us something good to talk about because we can't rely on the Oilers to win one.
Who do you think the Canadian team that will win the cup next?
The
Like
Leafs,
first.
Really.
Really?
Actually, first.
It was
None.
the Habs.
I don't think.
but they
I
were
don't think
close.
any of them are like. I don't know if any like the Leafs are easily the closest team to a cup of all the Canadian teams, but like. I don't know, man. Like it's it's hard to have faith in the Leafs winning a cup after the last few playoff years, but in reality, they are easily the closest team to winning one. Like the Oilers, I guess we would say just by default, the Oilers are second, but like Calgary looks pretty good this year. The Canucks are 7-0 with Bruce Boudreau. The Jets are pretty good. So I don't know. It could really be any of them except like the Sens and the Habs, but I do think the Leafs are closest for sure. All right, let's get into the Bedard versus Mitchkov discussion.
Right.
I am going to pull up stats here because I think we need to bring stats.
Is this the last
into this.
thing we will talk about?
Probably, yeah. I don't, how much more? Yeah, we don't really have, that's like the last topic we haven't really covered yet. I'm sure we'll ramble on about something before we end the episode, but yeah, this is like the last written topic we have. So let's look at Connor Bedard's stats on Elite Prospects. and see how he's doing in. So he has a point per game right now in the WHL on the Regina Pats. He's
I think
24.
I'm looking at the same. I'm looking at the same.
Yeah. Are you on Hockey DB?
No.
That's what I'm on. Oh, you're not?
Elite Prospects. That's what I'm on.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we're seeing the same numbers, obviously. He had 24 points in 24 games this year in the WHL. He had 28 points in 15 games in as a 15-year-old last year in the WHL, which is insane. And then he obviously had 5 points in 2 games in the World Juniors this year. But now, if we look at Matvei Michkov, who is, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody should know, he's the projected second overall pick in 2023 behind Bedard. He is actually 8 months older though. He's an 04, just born after the deadline of the draft, so he's getting drafted the same year. He is older than Bedard.
He would be in this upcoming draft, Michkov.
Yeah, if he was born, I think the deadline's a day in September or something. He would be born. If he was born prior to that day, he'd be getting drafted this year, and he would undeniably be the first overall pick. Mm-hmm. He is better than Shane Wright for sure. So, if we want to look at a Russian U16 league, he had 109 points in 26 games. In this U16 league in Russia, and he's played. This year, he's played for St. Petersburg in the KHL.
In a men's
13
league.
games. Yeah, he has 5 points in 13 games, which is pretty good. The KHL is probably the second most competitive league besides the NHL.
He's 17.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the World Juniors this year, I think he had 4 points.
Wait, let's go back to the
games.
U16. The U16, he had 70 goals, 109
and
points.
39 assists. God. And 26 penalty minutes. He's a goon.
What the hell are you doing? 70 goals. That's crazy.
So he plays for the MHL, I'm going to assume is the AHL of Russia, I think. Because he played in the same team in the MHL, except the only difference is that it's SKA 1946 St. Petersburg. The KHL team is SKA St. Petersburg. He in his first year there in 2020-21, that season, he had 52 points in 50 games, 35 goals and 17 assists. And then, yeah, I don't know. The kid's just unreal, man. There's no other way to put it. He's unreal.
The fuck?
Now, the comparison, though. In my eyes, this is the new Crosby Crosby Ovechkin comparison.
One sec. Let me just. My mom needs something.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll
lead it again. Yeah. So what I was saying, this is the most similar thing to the Crosby Ovechkin debate, because we've got one Canadian unreal player and we've got one Russian unreal player, and they're just and Ovechkin is a year older than Crosby, so it kind of works too, in the same sense that Michkov is almost a year older than Bedard, but Michkov definitely seems like more of a pure goal scorer. Bedard seems more of the well-rounded type of player. If I go back to Bedard's profile here, he has 14 goals and 10 assists this year in the WHL. So he's a lot closer in his stats. He's almost got the same amount of assists as he does goals. Whereas in that 52-point season for Michkov in the MHL, he had 35 goals and 17 assists. So
fuck. Sorry,
I was just comparing.
Jesus.
It's all right. I was just comparing the fact that Michkov seems like more of a pure goal scorer, which is why the Crosby Ovechkin comparison thing kind of works, because Bedard seems like a much more well-rounded guy who gets a lot of assists and goals. Michkov seems like but the difference between Ovechkin and Michkov is Ovechkin in the last 5 years, it's if you watch any Ovechkin goal, there's a 75% chance it's from the fucking left dot, one-timer. Michkov sort of seems like he can score from anywhere, and it's like Matthews. It's I saw him do that. He had 5 goals in one of the games. I don't know if it wasn't the KHL, because he has 5 points and it's not all goals, but he had a 5-goal game in the MHL or something like that, which is insane as a 17-year-old. Doing it against completely grown men, it's insane, man. He's just raw talent, but next year's World Juniors are going to be very good for this debate. Very good, because they're going to be the best players on their teams, and they're going to be getting full. Michkov was getting regular ice time, Bedard wasn't, so I guess you can make the debate that Bedard is better because he was getting less ice time, which is completely fair. Despite but he was getting regular ice time against Austria though, Bedard, which makes sense because they're shit.
Wow.
But as of right now, I would say Bedard is the safe bet. If you get the first overall pick that year, God help me if it is the Pittsburgh Penguins, I'm gonna blow my brains out. Yeah. He could go to any team. I wouldn't even be that mad if he went to the the Canucks or the Flames. But if he goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins, it's the end of Crosby's career. Oh no, what will Pittsburgh do without a franchise player on their team? We might as well just gift them the first overall pick so they can get Connor Bedard. Yeah. I will lose my marbles. Like if the Capitals,
Washington gets second.
Imagine if the Capitals slow down too and they get Michkov. The NHL's rigged if that actually happens.
Yeah,
but
that's terrible.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I saw some Montreal account post a Bedard, like not a real jersey, but it was his jersey with the 98 on the back, and they said with the first overall pick in the 2023 NHL draft, the Montreal Canadiens select Connor Bedard. I was like, keep dreaming.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's possible, but Bedard's not French, so I can't see him being drafted by Montreal.
And Shane Wright also had that.
Yeah, but someone brought a real jersey.
A reporter asked about it, and he thought it was funny. He said he would want to play for the Habs, but
and he didn't sound like he was being held at gunpoint too, which is very impressive. He seemed enthusiastic.
Like Jesus.
But that's another thing I've noticed actually about him and Bedard is they don't seem as robotic as guys like McDavid. Like McDavid is a robot. He's got no personality. Shane Wright at least looks like he's got a little bit of personality. He can crack a joke here and there, which is always good to see. The NHL needs guys with personality because it's like Trevor Zegras is so good for hockey, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like all the chicks. I was actually so excited to go to the game again because I was supposed to go watch Anaheim play Toronto on January 26th. I was telling you, I said, Anaheim, literally, I would have been shocked if there wasn't a lot of girls like surrounding Anaheim's zone in the warm-ups because like every comment on his post that isn't one of his friends from like the US program is a girl.
Yeah.
Like God, man.
He's so hot.
That's the only reason why girls like hockey. I saw TikToks about Owen Power already. Him chewing his gum. God.
Yeah. And she's like whatever.
But yeah, like even what Kucherov was saying in the interview after the playoffs last year about how Montreal was celebrating like they won the Stanley Cup like against Vegas. Like people obviously hated on him for what he said, but we need guys saying stuff like that. Like that you need people to say controversial things because especially then more people start talking about hockey. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I guess we'll both agree on Bedard being the first over as of right now. Things could obviously change. Because how long was Nolan Patrick the projected first overall pick in 2017, and then he sure got taken, and they both aren't very good. So funny how things turn out. Because didn't Makar get drafted that year too, and like Heiskanen, maybe Heiskanen was the year after. But
he might have been third. No, was he? No, I think it was him.
No, he was. It was him. Yeah, it was because my dad was pissed that they didn't take Heiskanen. They took Patrick. It was the same year. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I guess we can wrap this episode up.
Let's wrap it up before I have to leave again if my parents want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Jesus, or I have to use the washroom.
Anyways,
again. Who knows?
Bro. I mean, hey, I think the Zoom call went pretty well for the first time around.
I hope it did. Hope it sounds normal.
I hope it turns out. I hope everything turns out all right. So, yeah, we will see you guys next week with whatever new news has come around. Again, follow the TikTok if you haven't already, because we're going to be posting. Yeah, the video. Please.
We'll be posting a lot on TikTok.
A lot. We're gonna be posting videos almost every day on there. So if you guys want more content, feel free to follow there. We definitely appreciate it. I've been getting notifications on my phone the whole time we've been doing this, so I'm interested to see if we have any other engagement from random people. But
yeah, like any important news or anything about hockey,
yeah, we'll
probably
talk about it
post.
there first. Yeah.
Then we'll bring it onto the podcast, and just give us a follow on Instagram, Barnburner Podcast.
Yeah, again, on the same, it's all in the thumbnail, so you guys don't even have to do anything crazy. And thank
Follow
you guys
us
so
on
much for
Instagram.
listening and for tuning in.
Are our Instagrams on the
And we
thumbnail?
will see you all next
like
week.
Our personal Instagram?
Yeah, our personal ones are, yeah.
All right, boys.
So everything's there. The account, the personal, the TikTok, it's all there. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you all next week.